Welcome to this week's SV Lynx video. Well, we got a lot accomplished this week. Despite the hot weather, we managed to get the bridge deck crossing planks completed.
Right, and we also connected all three of the major sections into the one big piece now, which you can see behind us. And so we got pretty far, and it was nice that once the forebeam was done to get back onto working on the bridge deck, because that's our main focus right now. So let's show you exactly what we did this week here at the lot. We're working on the double wide board, and so that means we have to do 2 layers, 2 rolls at once, and to get the thickness of these double wide boards. If we did just one of these ropes, it would have to squish too much. So by going with 2, we can keep a tighter wind on them. So it's cool enough that we can also have time to lay out 2 at once right now, because it's early in the morning. And that's why we had to cut off yesterday, because, well, not yesterday. What day was that? Saturday? Saturday, because it was just too warm to do epoxy work further. So once this is setting up, which we just have to put the thickened on top right now, we're going to start bonding some of the webs together into one big block, because we have the 2 that we finished up already, and so we can start bonding them onto the web. We won't be able to finish that, but we can get that started today. And tomorrow we won't be able to work on this because we're waiting on something coming in the mail, and that'll get here late tomorrow. So instead what we'll do is we'll finish bonding those dividers in to create those watertight compartments up at the bow. We already cut them, we already prepped them, they're all ready to go. It was just too warm to bond them in, so tomorrow morning, once cool, we'll bond those all 4 in. And then Wednesday we'll finish up the last foam crossing beams and start bonding those on. Stop talking because my epoxy arrived. Nothing waits for epoxy. It's with the life we have on this stuff and the heat, we have to get it on as soon as we get it. Okay, I think we're all set on this one. So we'll let this cure in the shade, and we're heading over here to work on the bridge deck again, finally. No, next up is to kind of get these ready to put across here, and what we want to do today is start bonding them, one onto this side, one onto that side, and eventually the one down the middle once it's set up. But we still have some more prep work to do on sanding of these boards a little bit before we can glue those in today. So we just finished taking and grinding these surfaces right here, top and bottom here, to get these flat now. And the objective is, this is a piece of the web in there, and we want this to be exactly the same size because it has to bond to these. And so you can see it is perfectly that size. Now, again, you look at this surface up here, and because we laid this on plastic, there's some weird resin marks on here, but that just doesn't matter. This is inside the bridge deck, sealed up forever, and we put the top and the bottom on it. So it just doesn't matter that there's resin stuff on. There's no use sanding it. However, we did go ahead and sand where these boards are going to mount so that they have a flat surface you know, at each of the places where these are going to mount, and also roughed up for the tabbing that's going to happen with those on there. So these are ready to go, other than we have to clean it up now, this one, and we still have to sand the other one we're going to bond on today. But we're going to bond this one right now, clean it up and bond it on. And while we're doing that, the batteries are charging because we're a little low, so they're all charging right now. But that's okay, because we can work on this one for now and get to the other one later. I better shut up because there's a train coming. This morning we're bonding on our first two of the mast support planks that go across here with all their reinforcements already in them. And at the same time, we're going to bond on these small pieces on the other side of each of it all the way down, because these go on these sides here so that we can put the center board, which we like to call John Henry, because he's the biggest, stiffest, strongest of the three. So I'm just wiping down some of these surfaces right now. They've already been pre-sanded along here, so they're ready to go. But I can make sure there's no dust on any of these edges that are about to be bonded. Once these are setting up, we're going to go and get to work on some other portions of this bridge deck, because we're really on a mission to get this thing done and ready to go. Yesterday we already bonded this one on and did a bunch of the centerpieces that we hadn't quite done yet. So we got this stuff bonded on. We still have to do a few coves and tabbing on those new ones, like here and here. So, and those 5 down there. So that's part down there is getting ready for our long ones that go in between, which are sitting right up on there already. We haven't put the reinforcements in those yet. Since Brian and I have finished as much as we can do over here, and this is all setting up for tomorrow, so we can put the main center board down in here, and we'll glue it in here. We've moved up to the bows for now, and we've already got some work in here done for some support behind here, and now we're going to stick this one, which we already have gotten arranged, so it's all in the right place. So it sits right across here and ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and glass this piece in here. First thing we'll do is just glue it, and then once it's set up, we'll do some tabbing around it to strengthen it up. But this is just a watertight compartment below here. That's all it is, and then the top is storage for our spare parts. Now the first thing is to get a little shade on here so that the hot sun isn't going to kick off this epoxy too fast for it. So we're just sticking a tarp up over here, and that'll let this stay out of that sunlight. We'll do the same thing on the other side of the boat once this one's in. Put a tarp up there as well. It's not too hot today. We're probably about, what do you think, 85? So 85 degrees Fahrenheit. We consider that to be nice compared to these 100-degree days. Time to put on the big board. We call him John Henry because it's the strongest one. Goes right under the mast. And we made him a double wide, so it's extra strong. But it's time to get him glued on. We'll tab him later. So not only are we doing this side, but we're going to attach this cube to this cube over here right now. Give it a pre-pull. There we go. Get ourselves lined up. Today we're working on reinforcing the foam crossing beams that go under bulkhead number 6. So we've already created a trough by using our routing tool and laid in some reinforcement, and now we're just sealing it up with some thickened epoxy. already did this one. We're setting on the second one here. We've got 6 sides to go because there's top and bottom on 3 boards. So this is only one. This will be number 2, so we'll have 4 more to go today. Now earlier we got the big John Henry beam across that goes underneath the mast. And so that's busy curing right now. And today's Wednesday, so tomorrow's our day off. And so on Friday we'll be back and continue assembling this. And we'll need these 3 boards to assemble the 3rd section of the bridge deck together. So that's why we're working on these today, so that we'll have them ready to start connecting all that stuff up. And Brian and I picked up 1/3 of it today and lifted it and moved it around, and we weren't sure how heavy that whole grid was going to be, but it was really light for the 2 of us to pick up 1/3 of it. So I'm pretty sure that we can move that out with just 4 people. So sometime next week we're going to bring a couple crew members in. The 4 of us will be able to take that whole webbing out of there and set it aside while we do the other work we're going to do on the bottom of it. Now we've got to get the actual bottom out of the shipping container and pull all the peel ply on it, and we'll do that early next week so that it can take the place of that current floor and grid after we move them out, because that's the next thing we're going to be doing work on in there. So it's coming along, and if we hadn't had that week where we were waiting on this reinforcement stuff to come, we'd be right on time. But I think we're still good for getting it done for the party. It's just going to be a little tighter than it would have been. So Brian's mixing epoxy. It's time to drink, and we'll be squeezing it out here in just a second, as soon as he gets it into a piping bag. Today it's warm, but probably, I think, about 82 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So compared to last week when we were up there at 98 and 100, today isn't really too bad. However, this coming Friday and Saturday are due to get right back up to 100 degrees again, so we may have to shorten our schedule up that day. All right, time to get this in here. It's Friday, and it's gonna be a hot one, 97 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're here early in the morning so that it's not 97 degrees yet. And we're gonna put in our final reinforcements. We've got them on the other side of these foam beams, but we're gonna put them on the opposite side. And then we're gonna also, as soon as these are setting up, we're going to get back to the bridge deck and glass in the other wood support. Well, we got Nick here helping today. We gave him the hard job. We made him go out in the middle. And what we're doing now is putting clamps on to pull this all together and attach the bow to the centerpiece here. This is the final attachment. And we're getting all of our clamps all aligned so that this thing is ready to roll. Once this is done, we'll move back to working on the reinforcements that go under the bulkhead 6. This is the mast area. We had to get Nick out of the middle to finish this because it does push the floor down. Not much, we checked, but it's like 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, and that's like 5 millimeters or so. So for the end of this, to make sure these are all aligned, we need him weight off. But it all looks good. So we got one more clamp to get on there and we're all set. Okay. Yay. There were 3 and now there are 2. So all we have left to do, rotate that camera so should be able to just turn it. There you go. It's pointing over here more. Turn. Okay, so right here we have 3 more boards. These are the foam boards that'll attach the stern piece to that piece here. And at that point, all we have left to do is put the outsides on, and this grid is ready to go out. So we're filling up the thickened epoxy here, and on the top of the reinforcements. We just have to do these 3, and then I'll be all set. Won't have any more work to do on these crossing beams, and that means that tomorrow we can attach these 3 and have that grid all done. We had to get to this before it got too warm here, so we don't want this thickened epoxy to cook. Saturday, last day of the week, and we're in the final stages connecting all 3 pieces. So right now we're going to put the last 3 of these crossing boards in that we've put the reinforcements into. We're going to put all 3 of those in, clamp it all together, and it'll set up into one big piece. And that was our sort of our goal of this week, is to get this one structure done here. So we will get there, and we are going to take all the clamps we have to do this, but we have just enough, and so ready to roll. Brian's going to start mixing epoxy in a moment, so have a drink, and we'll get to work.
We have glued, clamped our final sections together. So our midsole is complete now and ready to firm up.
A couple of people have asked questions about how we're keeping the UV from damaging the boat. And what we do is we cover, when we're not working on a section, we cover it with tarps like this. So this whole bow that now that we've got the forebeam in and some of these bulkheads worked on, so we've just covered it. And same thing on the stern, we've covered that. And we've always had the cabin top covered with tarps on top of the boat. And everything underneath is all shaded by the boat itself. So there's only so much shading we had to do to protect it. So you can see that this is all, in the shade, all parts of the boat here. So we keep it pretty much shaded most of the time. There's occasionally, a section that's in the sun for a bit because we're working out section. We have to uncover it just as too hard with the tarps. But most of the time it's covered.
As you can see, we got a lot accomplished this week, nearly completing the bridge deck web. And now part of our focus coming up here is our big 100th episode barbecue bash on August 24th.
Right. We're bringing in all of the people who have worked on the boat, who are available, and inviting all our patrons. And we're going to do a live broadcast for the patrons who can't make it. So that should be fun. And the invites have already gone out. So we're hoping to get a bunch of crew and patrons here. So that should be fun. But we still got 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks before that. And we've got to get this bridge deck mounted up to the bottom here, and hopefully the chamfer panels in as well, so that we can walk around inside and give a little boat tour to everyone. So we're looking forward to that. But thank you all for watching this week's video. We do appreciate all of your time here, spending it with us on these videos, and hope we're at least somewhat entertaining for you.
And thank you so much to our patrons listed here. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the bell icon to be notified of our next video.
And we'll see you next week, where we're going to put the sides on this and then cart it out of here and start putting in all the conduits and big huge bus bars that go across, and get that thing prepped and ready to come back in and seal up and put it up to the top. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.